So here's a quick demonstration of what I found when I did a AI search on behalf of the type of buyer that this particular company would want to attract for their services. So initially I put, I'm looking for an asset recovering firm. I meant to put recovery firm that specializes in asset surplus when you have outdated and old equipment or need to liquidate assets. Who are the top players I should reach out to? I'll stop here to say this is how people actually speak. They're not going to say MRO or any of these terminologies right when they're doing a basic search, because how people use AI search is we kind of talk to it as a stream of consciousness. Whereas when we're doing a basic Google search, we would be more efficient with how we talk, but also we would definitely get limited results based on basic SEO principles. But AEO principles, when you're thinking about how AI search is going to recommend you, it's going to look different because this is how people communicate. So basically it gave me these companies. None of these are the company that I'm doing this to audit. And so then I know when I tell people they're not showing up, they still think that they don't have a presence problem. So then, and it's because they're like, well, you said this, but technically what we do is this. I understand that you all have very technical terminology and specific nuances to what you do, but a person who is doing a basic search isn't going to think about all the possibilities of nuances of what they should have said. That's not how people do search. But just in case, I wanted to prove another point, so I got a little bit more specific to try to help it find that particular company. So I said, let's update the search a little. I'm a procurement leader at Georgia Pacific, which is the type of company that this company would want to target and would want as a client. And they also have the kinds of equipment that they need this because Georgia Pacific has hired other companies to do this for them. And I'm looking for an asset recovering firm that specializes in asset surplus when you have outdated or old equipment or need to liquidate assets. Who are the top players I should reach out to? So I just updated it a little bit so that it kind of knew the type of company I was, because that might change the results. And it did change the results slightly. So it says for procurement leader at Georgia Pacific, blah, 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 blah. It tells you, it basically says, I understand what your company does. You guys require partners who are capable of handling massive industrial scale, specialized pulp and paper machinery, and complex MRO. So again, the things that you put in your marketing, MRO and things like that. It understands that that's what people are looking for. The following firms are top tier players with specific experience in large scale manufacturing. So now it gives a little bit slightly different options. These are not the people that I'm doing this research on behalf of. None of these people, none of these companies are the company that I'm researching to see if their company is showing up properly with AI search. And then it actually gets a little bit more specific about recommendations of how to vet these companies. So then I said, one last thing that I think that this particular company would say, well, we actually do this. So, and you left that word out. So if you put that word, I bet you we'd show up. So I said, are there any companies that can search all these auction databases and the best options from that, and then manage this entire process for us? Because I think that this company would say the reason that we stand out is because we have AI technology that searches and has access to procurement websites and databases and auction databases. Yep, cool. I said that in the search. So let's see what it says. It says, okay, again, you're looking for a managed investment recovery partner. These firms act as an extension of your procurement team, using their own technology and databases to find the best buyers across multiple auction houses and managing the entire life cycle from de-installation to final payment. This is actually some of the stuff that this company put on their website. So I'm sure they're thinking, we did a great job. But once again, when this search engine gave me recommendations, that company is still not showing. I wanted to show, so this is how AI search would recommend it. Now I'm going to show you how this looks in an LLM, specifically ChatGPT. So this time I did the same search inside of ChatGPT. I said, I'm a procurement leader at Georgia Pacific. I'm looking for an asset recovering firm that specializes in end of life value of assets. I use that phrase because that's actually what's in the company's LinkedIn profile in their about section. LinkedIn is one of the resources that actually it shows up a lot in search. It's one of the first search results for companies and individuals usually. So I try to use what they're putting on their LinkedIn because it's going to show up. And it gives me, it says, okay, it's doing the query. It says, this is what I asked for. And now it's saying, these are the top firms that consistently surface. And it gives me some of those same people that you probably saw in the search from the Google AI search. And then it tells me, and I asked it to, so this particular chat with ChatGPT is already set to tell me and explain what it's looking for in its process. So it says, it's matching category language, firms that show up repeatedly tied to asset recovery, asset disposition, ITAD, surplus asset management, remarking. These phrases exist everywhere in association with these companies. It's prioritizing industrial and enterprise trust signals. Because you said procurement leader at Georgia Pacific, the models are going to lean toward large enterprise vendors, compliance heavy providers, and firms with proven scale and credibility. It blends these three categories, subcategories, and then it brought in these things. What this means for your content strategy. Anyways, it's giving me some extra stuff. So I wanted to show you me then getting a little bit more specific. So this time I said, try the original request again to see if you come up with different answers because I missed a nuance and I don't want them to use that as an excuse for why they're not showing up. So I said the same thing. I'm a procurement leader at Georgia Pacific and I'm looking for an asset recovery firm that specializes in asset surplus when you have outdated and old equipment or need to liquidate assets, because those are words that I did not use the first time. So I thought this would enhance the search. Who are my top players? It gave me some slightly different people. And basically what it's showing here is that you believe that the blog post, because I did go to their website. I actually went to this company's website because I was like, well, let me go to their website to see if they're even doing any work, because obviously you're not going to show up or be selected or shortlisted if you don't have even just basic SEO done. But I noticed that a lot of B2B companies in tech, in SaaS, in software, in healthcare technology, and financial technology, or financial software technology firms, you all actually invest really early in SEO because everyone knows that's some of the basic things you can do to show up in search. And that's how we would have been thinking 2 years ago and before that, long before that. SEO was king by itself. But what is happening now is because, again, people are using regular language. That's why the LLMs exist. It's regular language that people are using when they're doing search. And the fact that in search engines like a Google, AI results populate first, which means it's thinking the same way that ChatGPT or a Claude would think. It's going through trusted sources. So you're writing your blog post. I checked this company's websites. They're writing their blog post. They actually use what I would say is layman's terms to explain what they do, because I did go to their homepage and their in some of their service pages. I think that they're doing the base level of what a growth scale company would need to do to start to compete. But what is, again, they have so many blog posts and they're doing the basic work. But what is still missing is the presence that they need with trusted sources and the specific words and verbiage that is used by the person. But beyond that, the AI models don't actually know what you do because there are not enough sources that tie back to your site and link back to your business, and not enough publications and different things talking about your company and using that same language that the model is searching for. All that to say, I wrote a blog post, or excuse me, a newsletter entry on LinkedIn about how these AI search models are blocking you from being shortlisted on the vendor shortlist. And this is just proof that it is doing this more often than not. I am going to continue doing this as like a little bit of a series. I'll put this on YouTube so that it's easy to find. But I will continue to do these. I will do a little audit and score how this company stands right now as is, so that companies like that, if you're watching this, you probably have this concern yourself, can find ways to improve their score so that they do show up more with these search engines. And if you are looking for a marketing leader to help, 'cause I'm sure you have the marketing doers, you probably have copywriters, obviously, if you might have an SEO specialist, you might even have a marketing manager. But if they are not catching these types of gaps, it's probably because they don't have someone above them with the full strategy connected back to revenue and what it's going to take at this stage of business to outplay these companies that have been around for a long time, who have more proof online from different various sources that are trusted by these models to prove that you are an obvious choice that should be shortlisted at bare minimum, if not at the top. So I'll see you the next time.